the way Willem Dafoe ran in was really funny. He's like, "Oh no, he's doing it! He's doing it! We have to burn the corpse. We have to burn him." Hey, everybody!
Hello!
Welcome to Unhinged Boys FX movie review.
How you doing?
And today we are reviewing nosferatu. And it
that's about it. We're reviewing that movie.
But yeah, no, this is a movie that is I guess it's basically a one-for-one remake of the Nosferatu.
It was either
1920s
or no, there was one that came out in like 78 or 79. It was basically a carbon copy of that film. I didn't watch it, so I can't.
We didn't watch it before this one. Other reviewers did, but we didn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, we went to go see this in theaters, and actually not day one, day second.
Day two.
Day two, and it was still very packed. Like we went to go see it at 6:30, and it was we couldn't even get into the door.
Jaden came with us this time.
Yeah, he did. But
I don't know why I turned around as if he was going to. Yeah,
he's not here.
He's here in spirit.
But anyway, we decided to go back at like 9. It wasn't that busy back then. And then, at that time, it wasn't that busy at that time.
Hey guys, so just a friendly reminder, this is going to be a spoiler review. So, as pretty much all of our reviews are. But if you haven't seen the movie, well, maybe not watch the review. Unless you want to. So yeah. Anyway, there's your warning. And yeah, so now would be a good time to click off the video if you haven't, if you don't want to be spoiled. So anyway, there was your warning. Hope you enjoy the review, and see ya.
I mean, this movie wasn't terrible. Okay, first off, look at that. It wasn't awful. But as you see, there are issues.
It wasn't Lord of the Rings, the War of Rohan.
Yeah, that was terrible all the way through. It had some good parts, but it was all terrible. This is like halfway.
We'll get to it.
Anyway, so basically this movie is about Nosferatu and Anna. Yes. Played by Emma Corrin.
Johnny Depp's daughter.
Yeah, and basically, it starts off with her.
Yeah.
Basically,
she's
begging to any entity to give her to just talk to her, I guess. To just hang out with her.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure she was.
I think later on in the movie, I think she has some sort of connection to magic, but they don't get into specific details.
Okay, so. The character, Anna, was basically begging to whatever entity to
just
make love to her.
I think it was I don't think it was that specifically, but
that's what happened.
But Nosferatu fucking showed up, and then relations, it was only in dreams, though. It wasn't, he didn't physically go there. Because it was only I think there was some sort of spiritual world that I think they go into. I don't know, that's my theory.
But anyway, we skipped to years later.
Because that's the thing about this fucking movie. It's there's shit in it that I want to fucking speculate on, but it's just later on, I'm just well, fuck. But anyway.
We will get to it, though.
Years later, she's grown up now. She's got a fucking boyfriend,
husband,
and she's hanging out with him. She's
played by Nicholas Hoult.
Now Nicholas Hoult.
He's in everything now.
And his name the boyfriend's name is wait, it's not countable.
It might as well be
Thomas Hutter. Thomas.
All right.
Thomas.
So Thomas works at a bank or whatever or something like that.
No, he's a realtor.
Well, anyway, he's been given the task to go to Count Orloff's castle, and sell him a house.
And she's and I was no, don't fucking go, don't.
And then he's like, And so he takes...
For future.
He takes her to his friend's house or whatever, and while he goes to the castle.
Frederick. Right?
Yeah.
Frederick Harding, which is played by Aaron Taylor, who is... I didn't know this until after.
He's going to be in everything else, too. He's in the new 28 Years movie.
Yeah.
So... Nicholas Hoult and him and...
I mean, he's like in... Yeah, I mean, he might be in some shit movies here and there, but I mean, like,
I don't think I don't think he's a terrible actor, though.
Yeah, I don't think he's terrible, per se, but...
But he's going to be in a lot of things.
I do have problems with his character later on, but as you can see...
But we leave Anna there at his friend's house, and then we follow Nicholas Hoult.
Which we go into like probably the best scenes in the entire fucking movie.
Yeah, which is Orloff's castle. That was my personal favorite part.
Yeah, like after like going to like a village where like it's a bunch of gypsies and like they kill a vampire.
Yeah, that wasn't. I'm gonna just tell you right now that didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah,
I don't really know what that was all for.
He like sees him kill like a vampire, I guess.
And you don't know whether it was a dream or whether it was real. I mean, he wakes up and has...
explain if there's more vampires. I guess there's like a guy that Count Olaf just didn't fucking kill. He just didn't kill him, but he like... Because I don't think he's interested in turning people into vampires, which he can.
Yeah.
I don't think he's interested. I think he's just interested in Anna.
But I didn't really understand that part, I'm going to be honest, because they were offering... there was a girl that they were offering as a sacrifice on a...
But they don't sacrifice her, I don't think.
They don't do anything? I don't know what that was for.
It was just to wake up the vampire.
I don't even fucking know, to be honest.
But anyway, he wakes up, and then he just proceeds to walk...
They take his horse
to the castle because they took his horse. Yeah, he doesn't have a horse no more.
They just abandoned their camp, and so he makes it to Orloff's castle.
And he walks to like this. Honestly, I think it's probably the best scene. He's walking and
down
like,
this road, and you see this
dark
horse.
Road. There's nothing but dark. You can't see nothing but dark and like light go through like the road and shit. And then all of a sudden you see like something come down the road, and
it's this like, black horse and black carriage.
Like, you hear like hard galloping, and then like. He just gets... It feels like he gets possessed to walk into the carriage. The carriage opens and he
by itself
walks in there.
It was a really cool scene.
And then he's just like sitting there, and while the carriage is like driving to this fucking badass looking castle. And there's also dogs behind him, by the way.
I didn't notice.
Wolves. There's wolves that just show up out of fucking nowhere. I think they're there to like protect him, to protect Olaf.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember
Nosferatu.
a couple of scenes during this movie, and that is because of something else that was happening outside of the movie that we will get to as well.
Yeah, but like Nosferatu, I don't think we mentioned this. Nosferatu's name is fucking
Orloff.
Count
Orloff. Or Lord Orloff.
Lord.
As he likes to be preferred.
But anyway, he goes to the castle, and then like, by the way, I thought the guy who Thomas talks to, I thought that was like Olaf's butler. I thought he had a butler, but no, it turns out it was just him. But he was just like in the fucking... He was just literally in the shadows. He was like, hey, come on, let's go.
I really thought that the movie was going to be super, super good.
Cause it was really good because you don't see him, but they just slowly reveal his entire features.
And he's kind of aggressive a little bit. And at one point they're sitting at the table and, they're eating food or whatever. And he cuts his hand or whatever, and he's like... And then you just hear Orloff, like, growling at him.
Be careful for you. Otherwise, I might eat you. And he just knocks him the fuck out. And then I guess he just couldn't take it. Just takes him to his bed. And then you just, like, I guess... He, like, looks at his chest and there's just, like, fucking...
I mean, you don't see him knock him out, but something happens.
Yeah, and then like later he's just back at the table and he's just like, all right, so I guess we'll just do the paperwork again. And I was just like, yes, so you have a girlfriend?
And he shows him his a little necklace or whatever, and Count Orloff just takes the necklace and doesn't give it back.
He's just like, okay,
he's like, hey, you gonna give my shit back?
No. He's like, so I think I should leave now since everything's going good.
You will stay.
Everything's good. He's like, no, it's bad, dude. You shouldn't leave when you're sick. It's bad omen.
Bad omens.
And then goes and leaves, and then like Thomas, like he's just like in his bed, and he's like, fuck this. I'm gonna go look around. And he looks around, and then finds the coffin that
in the basement
that Count Olaf, I guess, is sleeping in, and then he opens it, and then you just see Count Olaf. It's like a jump scare. Is it a jump scare? It kind of got me.
It was kind of cool. Like, I was like, you see the design of him in the coffin, and he's kind of shadowed, and he a little bit to me looked like the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers at like from like a glance. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
I mean, I kind of like what they do with him, because he's just like, basically he's just a corpse that's just powered by dark forces that use dark abilities and powers.
But like, what's the main guy's name again?
Thomas.
Thomas tries to stake him like what he's seen the gypsies do with, like, I guess this metal pipe thing he had or whatever.
He's just
and
like, fuck
Olaf
it.
just like catches it in
He
midair.
just knows.
And then he just like Walton.
What?
The main character's name.
Thomas.
Thomas, god damn it!
Yeah, Thomas. He just like
I keep wanting
runs
to call
away.
him Walton.
Thomas runs away.
To his room.
Goes to his room. He locks the door, but then I guess
You just see a menacing shadow of like Count Orloff, like just standing in the hallway with his dogs or whatever.
Yeah, and then I guess he mind controls Thomas to open the door, and then the dogs go after Thomas, and then Thomas just jumps out the window.
Yeah, and that's where my favorite parts pretty much just ended.
And then we proceed to go to Anna, who is now losing her shit.
Because she
every night now.
Nobody's heard from Thomas,
and like we don't know how long, probably weeks.
And her friend or his friend is taking care of her or whatever, but he doesn't really like her that much, and she kind of knows it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying.
He has
he's definitely a guy. You gotta admit, he is really good, because he's really good at playing a guy that's like, because at the same time, Frederick, which is Thomas's friend, he just inherited like the boat, like the entire boat company that his father had, because his father just died.
Yeah.
And he the whole thing is like his responsibility. He's got a lot of money, but he's also got more responsibility. And now he hasn't also slept at all, apparently, for I don't know how long. Which explains why he gets more fucking irritated.
And like,
just like, I'm just
Anna is having like these seizures that honestly don't look like seizures. They look... Anyway, we're not gonna say that. But
yeah, kind of all off is just like, because he's like connecting to her or whatever every night, I guess, trying to like figure out where she's at, I'm guessing, or something. I don't know. But either way, the Dr. William comes in, and he's just like, all right, well, we've been trying to do this for a while, but I think it can get... I don't know what's going on with her, but I think I know who's going to help. And then they go to Patrick Albin, who is Willem Dafoe! Who, by the way, they don't reveal it until you go see Willem Dafoe, who is actually apparently a fucking, like... He's like a
clairvoyant?
No, it's not clairvoyant. He's like a guy that, like, you know, just full on...
Does he see the stars or some shit? Like...
No, he just full on believes in, like, the cult and all this other shit. He's like a whatever the fuck guy.
Alright.
He just believes in, like, the occult and demons and all this other bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, not bullshit, but just stuff. Whatever the fuck. And all this other stuff, but wherever they go to him... And he's like, well, it's probably nosferatu. I mean, we've got to figure that out. And then,
we transitioned to, like, this pawn, I don't know the guy's name. He's in an asylum. He's the guy that sent, Thomas to the, he went crazy or whatever.
I think Hernock. Is that him?
Yeah.
I think that's him.
Anyway, he's Thomas's boss. You know, that sent him to the castle went crazy and was actually working for Orloff.
Yeah, you could tell that like he's just like, I'm gonna send him to his death.
Because he's like in the middle of this like pentagram, just naked for some reason, reading a book, and then I guess he like does this
like,
whole,
you're coming, and then we
some
transition.
contract needs to be fulfilled or something like that.
Yeah, and then we transition to the ship that's.
Which is supposed to be like the last voyage of the Demeter.
That's holding the plague. And also nosferatu, Olaf himself, because Olaf, I guess he just brought a bunch of fucking rats with him.
Yeah.
And like a fucking... in his coffin.
And just crashes it into the city.
Yeah,
and so the plague's now at the city. After
he kills everybody. And it also crashes into Frederick's fucking... you know, the shipyard. Yeah. So, and I bet he gets blamed for that. He's like, it's my fucking responsibility. And also, shortly after that, Thomas shows up and is like, fuck, I'm fucked up. Well, actually, there was also before that, I guess there was a scene where Thomas got saved by a bunch of gypsies. And
I'm going to be honest.
Probably the same gypsies.
And they didn't understand that part.
They're like, you want to stay here. Because you've been marked. Because Olaf is determined to kill him because, you know, he wants to be with Anna and Thomas is in the way. I feel like that's probably what the whole thing is. I feel like that's what that is. But anyway, Thomas is like, fuck that, I leave. And then he shows up after the rats show up. And then, you know, Thomas is like knocked out, and then Anna talks to Frederick, and Frederick's like, all right, you need to get the fuck out of here. You
also, every time that Anna has been having these seizures, they're not really seizures. It's basically Orloff, you know, making love to her. From what I could tell.
I mean, I guess basically...
I don't want to use the other words. But Frederick is, like, chaining her to the bed or whatever. I don't know why, to be honest. Because he doesn't like her, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah.
William Dafoe at one point comes in and he's like, get these fucking chains off her!
Yeah, and also at one point the doctor they just started
chloroforming.
She's also just chloroforming.
I looked at James in the theater. I'm like, I don't think that's a good practice.
Yeah. So anyway, they're talking and Frederick's like, all right, you guys can get the fuck out. Go, leave, get. And then Anna and Thomas are just they're talking, and then Anna starts freaking the fuck out. We're gonna save. Well, we thought about that scene for the end.
Well, should we say this about, you know, what happened to Frederick's wife?
I get. Yeah.
Or is that spoilers?
Well, we're already spoiling the whole fucking thing. Honestly.
All right, spoilers.
The whole thing's spoiled. We should just put a spoiler.
Well, that's
spoilers on the title.
Well,
so just.
All right.
So either way, because we just keep forgetting to say spoilers before we talk about the fucking plot.
Yeah, it's too hard to be a reviewer.
Because we keep talking, we're going to talk loosely about the plot, and we just talk about the whole plot.
Well, so what happens to Frederick's...
So either way, fuck it.
Wife and kids, Orloff shows up, and you just see, like, the wife gets out of bed, she can't wake Frederick up, or whatever, and, I guess Orloff's just feeding on...
And he just kills their Frederick's kids.
And then I guess the wife doesn't scream or anything. She's just stricken with terror, or he's got her in a trance or something.
She just dies.
But
and before that, she also got
she winds up in the hospital.
Yeah, she got eaten by rats, and then I guess everything was fine. And then that happened, and then the kids got eaten and shit. And
the hospital just sent her home, and then she's just dead. I was very confused about that.
Yeah, and then there's like a scene with like the coffin and shit.
Where do we go now?
Well, basically that whole thing happened after the Anna and Thomas scene or whatever the fuck. So basically after Olaf, so
took care of Frederick's family.
Yeah, we didn't mention that Olaf also showed up and told Anna, "Hey, by the way, 3 days, or else, otherwise."
Or else Thomas is dead.
Otherwise, I guess Thomas is dead, and you gotta like. Because by the way, there's a rule that she has to like willingly submit to him, be with him.
Well, it's like a contract of whatever she asked for.
I don't know what power. Like, does he get to like have the power to just be immortal more? I don't know, more youth. I don't know.
And then like Thomas shows, Frederick they're at his family's funeral or whatever.
Yeah. So at the funeral,
and Thomas is like, "No, there is evil" or whatever. Shows him these bite marks on his chest. And
and then Frederick's like, "Oh,
okay,
now I believe you." Because the whole time they're trying to fucking convince Frederick, and then he's just like, "Fuck you! Everything's fucked. I'm at sleep."
He just shows him 2 puncture wounds. They're like, "Okay,
I believe you." And then they're just in the carriage, and
then they separate from.
And then I guess they just kind of
William Dafoe and Anna separate from the rest of the group and have like a little talk and make this little plan.
Like, you need to... You're the one. You need to do it.
I will send Frederick and Thomas on a wild goose chase on a fake hunt.
Yeah, but then after that... Frederick goes to his dead kids and wife. And then after that, he dies for some reason. And Thomas
I feel like I missed something.
And Thomas is like... Where's Frederick? And fucking the doctor and Albert are like, I don't know. And he's like, he's probably at his fucking, he's gonna do something. And he's like, I guess he's at his fucking, at the funeral home. And then they go there and they're like, oh no, he's dead. We need to burn everything so the fucking plague doesn't spread. And it's like,
he died. I guess like
I don't know.
He went into the.
We're gonna save the actual details for the actual thing.
All right.
But anyway, he just dies for some reason, and I don't know. But either way, I guess it was from because he has a plague all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was out of nowhere. I didn't understand he had the plague at all.
And then after that, they're like, all right. Let's go get Olaf.
It felt like something was cut there, but...
And then somehow they go find Olaf, because fucking...
we keep transitioning to Anna, where she's, like, in a wedding dress.
Yeah, now she's... Because the whole plan now is that
she's going to sacrifice herself.
That she sacrificed herself, and then the plague will go away. And,
that is not what I thought was going to happen.
And Willem Dafoe's character, it basically just is leading them to, like, a wild goose chase so it can happen. And then basically they go to this place and they open up the fucking, Thomas and Willem Dafoe open up the fucking coffin, and it's actually what the crazy guy.
Yeah. And they just stab him.
They just stab him. Oh, for my master.
I'm still alive. And Willem Dafoe just comes over and he's like, oh, we gotta kill him. All right, burn everything.
And then basically Thomas finds out, runs to the house, and basically finds Anna dead with Olaf on top of her because the whole thing was like, it was like, all right, you'll suck on my blood and I'll just keep you in the sunlight. And then that happens.
I guess that
happens. The movie.
I guess that happens in the original, but
yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna wait to give our thoughts, or do you want me to give my thoughts now?
Well, and then Willem Dafoe just puts flowers on her and
holds
pets
a
a cat and is like...
And looks into the...
I guess beauty killed the beast. It doesn't say that, but it basically says that.
It's basically what that meant.
And then, end of the movie. Alright, now we're gonna talk about our thoughts and what the fuck specifically we did not like.
I didn't like the whole fucking movie except for the castle part, I'm gonna tell you that.
I liked half the movie. And honestly, the whole movie itself had a weird, sexual tone to it, which is like, that was the whole thing.
I was not expecting that.
So what do you want to talk about first?
The movie looked really good. I'm not gonna lie.
It was all really good. There was like very cinematic, everything.
But people are saying that this movie is really scary. No. No, it's not.
I mean, no. I mean, it's probably really scary in the beginning, but
they're like talking about
that,
like jump scares. I'm like, what jump scares?
One jump scare, the fucking Olaf coming out of the coffin.
It didn't even work for me.
I mean, it kind of worked for me a little bit, but
regardless, it's not scary. And overhyped as shit for sure. I walked into this movie fresh. I was not walking into this movie going, I'm gonna hate this movie.
Yeah, at least
I seen one trailer, and that was the teaser trailer. I have not watched a fucking thing.
I seen one trailer, and I didn't even listen to the fucking sound. I just watched the fucking the pictures, and so I didn't know what the fuck the movie sound like. But anyway, yeah, like. So let's talk about the fucking Anna and Thomas scene. How about that?
All right, so
that's when the movie went really downhill. Like,
so basically, Anna's like telling Thomas, "Hey, I've been kind of using you, and you're not kind of doing it for me." So,
by the way, she's basically, I guess she's technically possessed by Olaf because she just keeps going back and forth in between.
But also, like. At one point, like, she just, her eyes roll to the back of her head or whatever, and, like, she's, like, kind of drooling everywhere.
She rips her fucking...
And honestly, I didn't get that she was possessed. I kind of thought she was just kind of doing that.
Well, I don't know. The whole scene started with her being like, I summoned him. I did it. And he's just like, what? What the fuck? What's going on? Explain more. And she's like, I did it. And then looks into the fucking darkness and it's just like, He was a better lover than you. And then like, what the fuck, Anna? And then just starts losing his shit and then goes back and forth in between.
And then she crawls up on
just surprised
or whatever.
Thomas just wasn't... I'm surprised Thomas didn't walk out. Instead, he just like... She's just like, okay, let's fuck. And he's like, okay.
Honestly, like... that was a weird ass scene. I was like, what the fuck?
In the theater was like, what? I heard like people next to us being like, what the fuck?
That is not what I was expecting.
I thought he was gonna leave the fucking room or something, but no, they just you know have relations. Yeah, they have relations, and then they just goes to the next scene, which is I think Frederick's family being murdered.
Which was okay. So now we're gonna talk about the morgue scene. Frederick goes to the morgue. You know, is like,
yeah, that's
they're in the he's looking at the coffin of his kids or whatever.
I'm gonna let you know before we talk about this scene itself. I had the urge to walk the fuck out. I'm surprised we didn't walk the fuck out.
I was like, I have to. We
this
already
is
did
a
that.
Walk out, fucking scene-worthy scene, and the rest of the movie, I would have listened. Somebody would have been like, "Oh, well, this is what happened." I'm like, well, yeah, that would have seemed like the fucking what would have happened after this scene.
So he opens up his wife's dead. He opens up his wife's coffin.
Yeah.
And starts like kissing her, and then he's like, I will never sleep again, or whatever. I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to mean.
Yeah.
I guess in the end he didn't he never slept again, because the next scene is
Willem Dafoe and fucking Thomas
opening up the crypt and being like, seeing him deep in a corpse.
Jesus Christ, Jared! I had to censor that part.
All right, how do you want me to say? All right, William Dafoe and Thomas opens up the crypt and then sees him
having relations with his wife's
corpse.
Yeah, and then because Willem Dafoe
this is totally not the
way Willem Dafoe ran in was really funny. He's like, oh no, he's doing it! He's doing it! We have to burn the corpse. He's going to burn him.
He died from the plague. He's just dead, though. It just fell out of fucking left field completely. Jaden, mind you,
he was knocked out. He's asleep. I think he went to sleep like halfway through the movie.
And I don't blame him.
Yeah, it's just like, I think probably right after the castle scene, he just went to bed.
He's like, fuck it.
Surprisingly,
part of the movie.
I didn't sleep at all through this whole fucking movie, which, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I wouldn't have missed much because it's just kind of just. I feel like
there's not much going on.
This movie itself should have. It was probably 2.5 hours, probably longer. but they just cut the last 40 minutes and then just had it like apparently there was a lot of shit to explain here.
I'm gonna be honest, Orlov doesn't really come in until the end of the fucking movie. I mean, you see a glimpse of him.
Yeah, he doesn't really kill it. The last person he kills physically is, well, actually, I think the only person is probably the people on the boat.
Oh. Well, no, the kids were the last.
Oh, yeah, oops.
But, no.
By the way, Terrifier 3?
That pissed me off when you said that. I was like, don't you fucking ever.
I was like, Terrifier 3?
Don't you ever compare that to that.
By the way,
great movie.
Terrifier reviews coming soon. Look out for those. This comes out before that. This might come out after. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. We don't have a schedule.
We only did Terrifier 1.
We ran out battery time.
Alright, so the ending. Let's talk about the ending, because I have a theory. I have a suggestion of how the fucking ending should have actually happened.
Yeah, I do too, and it's not what you are going to expect, and it's not what I was expecting, but apparently it's a one-for-one thing of, like, the original. I'm like, you could have did something else with this, because I don't think this ending works.
Because the ending is literally,
it's just anticlimactic as fuck.
She's supposed to sacrifice herself all off, and just gets on top of her and starts sucking her blood. And then the sun comes up, and he's about to leave.
He looks at it, he's like, fuck it, I don't care.
It's about to leave, and she's like, no, stay here.
Like, what the fuck?
See, here's where my thing comes in. And
then they both die, because the contract has been fulfilled, I guess.
He just bleeds from his mouth, which I think that's what the whole, I think she was having premonitions of what the fuck was gonna happen. Because, like, there was, every time she would dream, she would have, like, premonitions of, because one point they say that she could have been like an oracle or some shit instead of being a sacrificial lamb for all of humanity, which is what she did become. But either way, there's like a scene where she had blood all over her mouth, and that's what happens to Olaf. He ends up getting blood all over his mouth, and then he just slumps over and dies.
Well, he's on top.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just be honest.
Which is very anticlimactic.
Thomas just got turned into a cuck in this movie.
He's like, no!
Like, holy fuck. Here's the thing I don't understand, though. Just because you killed Orlov, why would the plague go away? It's rats in a town.
Yeah,
what?
And every scene after the rats show up, you just see rats crawling around everywhere.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is that?
Like, you can't get rid of them instantly.
But, like,
this is how I think the movie should have ended.
It should have ended with, like, in my mind, I thought she was like, alright, since the gypsies were stabbing the vampires in the heart, I thought she was going to be like, alright, I accept your deal. And then she, sticks him.
When he looks at the sun. Ha!
Or some shit, or maybe the house was going to be, like, on fire, and Willem Dafoe was going to be involved, and being crazy and everything, and I thought it was going to be kind of really cool and, like...
See, this is what I think should have been. It was kind of like the fire thing, but it's basically... Okay, so basically... You know how fucking vampires get set on fire when they fucking...
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna fucking happen. This is what should have fucking happened. He should have got set on fire.
He just turns to bones.
And then the whole fucking thing should have... The whole apartment should have went the fuck up. And then Thomas is running, and then he gets there. And we don't see it.
Thomas doesn't do a fucking thing in this movie.
He gets there, and then the fucking thing is on fire, and he's like... And he gets on his knees, and he's like... No! And there's like fucking music. And there's like very sad music, and you're sad.
Willem Dafoe just comes up behind me. He's like,
Yeah, and it's super sad because you feel really bad for Anna because she got burnt to death to sacrifice herself. No. Instead of that, you don't feel sad for her at all because this is basically what the fuck she wanted in the first place.
Yeah, no, I didn't see a sacrifice there. I seen her enjoying herself.
She's like... And she died with a smile on her face, by the way. I'm pretty fucking sure.
Like, it was the weirdest fucking thing to sit 2 hours for, which I think this movie is too fucking long.
Like, the thing, like, like what it really should have been was like the whole building burns down because Olaf bursts into flames because of the sun, and then there's like no evidence of the vampires, so they just assumed the fucking plague was just because of rats and shit, and that's how the fucking plague. Yeah. And that would have been way fucking better. And then you would have been sad for Anna, and then music would have been playing, and you would have been sad for Thomas, and then you would have been, and then fucking Willem Dafoe would have been like having a smile. And you would have had actual feelings at the end of the movie instead of just been like Willem Dafoe looking at the fucking
This is
sun,
just basically a one-for-one creation of like the last two movies, and I'm like, did we need a third? Did we just need an updated fucking version of this movie? Like, we could have did something different.
Like, it should have been the way I said. It would have been way fucking better. Like, because the
anything would have been better than this shit.
Last half of the movie completely ruins it for me, honestly. And since, you know what? And since I only like half of the fucking movie, I'm only gonna give it half of a fucking...
I'm gonna give it a fucking...
half of a rating. I'm gonna give it 5.
That's funny because I was only going to give it 5. I know it seems like we copy each other's numbers a lot, our scores, but that's not intentional. I notice how it sounds too, but it's not. I give it a 5 too.
Because only half of this movie is good. Like, fuck. Like, yeah. So.
And this was one of the worst fucking theater experiences I've had in a long time.
What happened, Jared? Explain.
I kept having to look away from the movie at certain points and miss part of it because there was just there was a couple there in their like 20s, maybe 30s or whatever.
Something, I don't know.
And he kept moving around the fucking theater or whatever.
Yeah, he just kept jumping around.
And he's like a row in front of us.
Around the fucking chairs.
Yeah, he kept like climbing over chairs or whatever. He's vaping. He's fucking popping beers and shit. And I'm like...
I'm pretty sure he had a beer.
And like he just started openly like talking as if there was no one else in a theater.
Yeah.
As if he wasn't at the theater. And I guess Jaden was like... He gave Jaden a weird look and a smile or whatever. A weird cringy ass fucking goon smile and like started making out with his girlfriend. I was sitting there going... This guy's making me nervous.
I don't fucking know. I was trying to ignore him. I didn't notice any of this.
I couldn't ignore him. He kept fucking moving around. Then he would just be like standing.
I seen him jump over the chairs and shit, but
he tried to jump over this. In our theater, it has like a wall that slants that that allows you to go to the lobby. He tried jumping over that. I was like, oh my god, this guy is making me fucking nervous because I don't know what his intentions are.
I don't know. I was just trying to ignore him the whole time, but yeah. Well, that was Nosferatu. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and go to our Patreon, go to our Twitter, go to other stuff.
Or don't.
Or yeah.
I'm just joking.
I mean,
do it.
We got our gaming channel, Unhinged Boys, gaming, FX Gaming, and then yeah. Everything's going to be in the description. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!
Do it!